Africa has reached a turning point where it will no longer bow to anyone. And today, it stands as a continent of dignity, pride, strength, and unshakable sovereignty. This new era began with one bold and unexpected decision from South Africa that shocked the entire world. Traditionally, when a country finishes its term as G20 president, its leaders must travel to the next host nation to hand over the leadership baton, a symbolic gesture that has been followed for decades. Every nation quietly respects this custom, but this time, South Africa chose a different path. They refused to fly to the United States for the ceremony, sending a clear and powerful message. If you want the G20 presidency, then you must respect us. We will not travel across the world just to follow a tradition that benefits you more than us. It was not arrogance, neither disrespect nor hostility. It was a calm display of dignity. For generations, African leaders have been expected to travel to the West to seek approval, support, or permission. Yet in this moment, South Africa stood firm and declared that Africa is an equal partner, not a follower. Across the African continent, millions celebrated this bold stance. People from Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, Tanzania, Zambia, Rwanda, and beyond felt a renewed sense of pride. They saw this as the Africa they had dreamed of, an Africa that stands tall, confident, fearless, and aware of its value. And then came another surprise. For the first time in many years, the United States announced it would not attend the G20 summit in Johannesburg. No president, no vice president, not even a senior official or diplomat. The world watched in disbelief. Many Africans questioned this decision, asking why African leaders are always expected to travel to the U.S. when invited, yet the U.S. could not do the same for Africa. The decision created tension, but South Africa responded with calm maturity, saying simply that if the United States chooses not to come, that is their decision, and South Africa would not beg. This response impressed the world. It showed that South Africa was not acting out of anger or insecurity, but with confidence, dignity, and composure. The message to the world was simple: respect must be mutual. Then former U.S. President Donald Trump added more tension by publicly claiming South Africa was not qualified to lead the G20. Many Africans remembered Trump's past controversial statements about the continent and saw this new comment as part of a long history of disrespect. But instead of reacting emotionally, South Africa responded with a firm, dignified stance, making it clear that they did not need validation from anyone. They stated they had earned their role and deserved their place. Across Africa, Trump's remarks sparked deeper conversations. Why, people asked, are African nations always questioned while other countries are not? Why are African achievements often dismissed or undermined? Instead of discouraging Africans, Trump's comments awakened millions of African youth. They said Africa must rise higher, build stronger, grow faster, and show its true power. This moment made Africans reflect on their growing strength. Africa is becoming one of the fastest-growing regions in the world. Countries like Ethiopia, Rwanda, Tanzania, Kenya, and Ghana are rapidly building new industrial zones. Nigeria, Angola, and Mozambique are expanding their energy sectors. South Africa, Egypt, and Morocco are becoming leaders in manufacturing, automotive production, renewable energy, and technology. With more African countries joining BRICS, the continent gains stronger trade alliances, more investment, and more political influence. The youth of Africa, 60% of the population, are driving innovation, creating businesses, building apps, and acquiring digital skills that will shape the future. Africa is no longer waiting. It is moving forward. Yet there remains one obstacle: disunity. Africa has 54 countries, each with its own currency, policies, and priorities. This fragmentation weakens the continent's power. Foreign nations take advantage of Africa's disunity by pressuring one country at a time or creating competition among African nations. If South Africa refuses unfair mineral prices, buyers simply
If Ghana
go to
demands
Congo
fair trade,
or Zambia. Foreign powers shift to Nigeria or Angola. Disunity reduces Africa's bargaining power. But imagine an Africa that speaks with one voice, united, strong, strategic. An Africa that sets prices for its resources, protects its industries, invests in its own infrastructure, and negotiates fair agreements with global powers. Unity does not mean sameness, it means cooperation. It means standing together when one African nation is disrespected. South Africa's bold decision reminded Africans that unity is essential for true power. Another issue raising questions is the presence of foreign military bases in Africa, especially U.S. bases. For decades, the United States has built military installations in countries like Niger, Djibouti, Kenya, Botswana, and others. Official explanations include fighting terrorism, protecting trade routes, and supporting allies. But these bases also represent long-term foreign influence. They give external powers strategic control over parts of Africa, making it difficult for some nations to act independently. Many Africans ask, how can we be truly sovereign if other nations control our security and military presence? South Africa's recent decisions have encouraged Africans to rethink their dependence on foreign powers. Across social media, millions expressed support, saying Africa must become more self-reliant and less dependent on outside countries for security, trade, and approval. South Africa's stand is inspiring other African nations like Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and Ethiopia, who are increasingly rejecting foreign pressure. This generation of Africans wants leaders who protect dignity, sovereignty, and national interests. They want an Africa that does not kneel, beg, or accept disrespect. They want an Africa that controls its destiny. The excitement and pride across the continent after South Africa's decision showed that Africans are ready for a new era. This moment is bigger than a ceremony, bigger than diplomacy, and bigger than politics. It is about sovereignty, identity, self-respect, and Africa's determination to take its rightful place in global affairs. Africa is rich in resources, culture, talent, and potential. It is home to 1.4 billion people, making it the future economic engine of the world. It has the minerals needed for electric cars, smartphones, satellites, and global technology. It has fertile land, brilliant minds, and unstoppable youth energy. For too long, Africa has been seen as weak, dependent, and submissive. But today, Africa is rising with courage, clarity, and confidence. South Africa's bold decision tells the world that Africa will no longer be treated as inferior or irrelevant. It shows that Africa demands equal treatment, fair partnerships, and genuine respect. It signals a shift in global power, because a confident Africa changes the world. This moment will be remembered as the beginning of a new Africa, a rising Africa, a united Africa, a powerful Africa. The sleeping giant has awakened, and nothing will ever be the same again.